Hello. In this video, we will set up Istio Service Mesh in our local Minikube cluster on a Windows operating system. We will start by installing Istio. We will set up and run a sample bookinfo application, and we will finally look a visualization tool Kiali, which is a console for Istio Service Mesh. Let's start the installation process. First, we will need a Docker desktop for Windows. I already have installed Docker desktop. So here you can see, and we need Minikube. So the Minikube I also have, and we need kubectl. Kubectl also I have installed before this shooting this video. So if you don't have Docker desktop or Minikube or kubectl, make sure that you install before to follow along this tutorial. So now we have prerequisite. Let's start the installation process. So let's first go to the documentation here. Let's go to platform setup. I am using Minikube. So let's go to Minikube, and here are the steps. We need to first start the Minikube. So let's start the Minikube. Start. Thing to note here is that the default CPUs and resources that Minikube create, it's not sufficient. So we need to provide more resources for Istio to work. I have a ND script here, so let's copy. And I'm starting the Minikube cluster with 4 CPUs and 6 GB of RAM. Let's start the cluster. It should start in some time. So here I have Docker desktop. You can see once the Minikube cluster starts, we will be able to see in the Docker desktop. Let's wait while it is starting the cluster. So now I started creating containers. Okay, now the cluster is created. We can see the containers, Minikube container is running here. It's good. Now let's start with installation. So we go to the install, and we will be using Helm charts. So make sure that you have a Helm chart also installed in your local system, or you can use other installation. For this video, we will be following with the Helm chart. So let's first add the Istio charts to Helm. So it's already added in my laptop. Let's update, see if there are any updates. So it's updating. Nice. So now we can go to the actual installation. So let's first start with the Istio installation. So let's create a Istio system namespace. kubectl create namespace Istio system. So this will create a namespace in Kubernetes called Istio system, in which we will install the Istio core and Istio D components. So it's created. Now come down and let's install the Istio base. So it will take some time. Okay, it's done. Now we need to install Istio D, Istio Service Discovery System. Let's copy this and install. So let's wait a minute for this installation to complete. Okay, so Istio D is also installed. Let's head back to the documentation. Let's verify that everything is installed. kubectl get pods and Istio system. So we are looking into all the pods in Istio system. We can see it's running. Let's see all the services that's running. Yeah, it's running. Now we have installed IstioD and Istio base. Now we can install the Istio Ingress gateway. So Istio Ingress gateway is sits at the edge of our service mesh, and it will accept the incoming traffic. So let's install it. Let's create new namespace for Istio Ingress. Istio Ingress namespace is created. Now let's install it via Helm. So I'll call it Istio Ingress Gateway. Install Istio Ingress Gateway, Istio Gateway, namespace Istio Ingress Gateway. Okay, let's install it. So while this is installing, let's install some sample apps. So head over to Book Info application. Here we have this sample application, which is we can install, and we can test our service mesh and Istio is working properly or not. So let's start by creating a namespace first. kubectl create namespace book info. I'll be using book info. Okay, please. Next up, we need to we need to have a label in that namespace which we will be deploying, and we need to have the Istio injection enabled in that label. So why this is important is, if you have Istio injection enabled, then only Istio will inject the sidecars into the services, otherwise it will not inject. So let's try that out. I'll be copying this, and we need to make little change because our namespace is book info. So book info is Istio injection enabled. So namespace is labeled with Istio injection is equal to enabled. Now let's pull the sample apps. So I have the command nd here. Let's copy and paste here. So this should create the services. Here you can see all these services are getting created. Let's see, kubectl get pods, book info. So here you can see it's still in initializing, and we can see 0 out of 2. So here one pod is for service and another one is injected sidecar. So this will take some time. Let's see, it's taking some time. Meanwhile, we need to visualize this, how it is, the mesh is looking like. Let's go to observability, visualizing your mesh, and here we can install Kiali. So Kiali is the tool which we will be using for visualizing Istio Service Mesh. So let's install it. So I'm installing it on Istio system. Here I was just checking first that it's already installed or not. It's not installed. So let's install it. Go to Kiali installation. Here I'll be copying this, and let's install it. Give the namespace Istio system. Hit enter. Okay, so it should start now. Let's see. Istio system. Yeah, Kiali is there. Okay, now we need to access it. We will be using port forward. So by default, it's not available to the external because of external IP is not there, so we cannot directly hit it. So we will be using port forwarding. So this will be port forwarding on 20,001. Let's hit this. Okay, it's still not running. Let's wait for some time. Okay, so now we can see Kiali is running. and our bookmfo apps are also running. Now let's do the port forwarding and access Kiali. The Kiali, you can see the services. Okay, now coming back here. So Ingress gateway, let's see your CTL get parts, and then we Istio Ingress. We have Istio Ingress pod running. Let's check the service. Istio Ingress service is running here. Make a note of external IP which is pending. So in order to expose our bookmfo apps, we need to create a gateway and virtual services. So that will allow the traffic from outside. We'll talk more about it in a separate video. For this exercise, let's just create the bookmfo gateway and virtual service for bookmfo app. Let's copy paste. Okay, this has created it with CTL get gateway virtual service in bookmfo namespace. Okay, we have the gateway and virtual service. Cool. So now we need to get the IP of our Ingress gateway so that we can hit our bookmfo app. For that, we need to start the Minikube tunnel. Let's start Minikube tunnel. It started. Now let's see Istio Ingress. Now it has external IP. So when we start Minikube tunnel, it will assign a external IP to our Ingress gateway, because this is of a load balancer type and not a node port. We will discuss about it in a separate video where I will deep dive into the Ingress gateway, why we created the gateway and virtual services for bookmfo app, and why we need Minikube tunnel in order to access the app. Cool. Now let's try accessing the app. Our local host, it's export on port 80. So port 80/product page. So I'm getting error. Okay. Now let's see the configuration file for Istio Ingress gateway. In Istio Ingress gateway namespace. So here we can see it's running on port 80 and the target port is 80. Okay, now let's see the gateway for bookmfo app. Okay, so we can see here the port is 8080. So when Ingress gateway is receiving port on 80 and it's forwarding on port 80, but bookmfo app is running on port 80. So we need to make this change. At this time of this recording, this is we installed it from Helm and there is this mismatch. So we will just fix it, change the port to 80 and save it. Once we save, it should automatically get applied. Let's see if it's working or not. Cool, it's working. We can see from here. Also, you can hit from browser to 80. Here our sample bookmfo app is working. So this was a guided exercise on installing Istio Service Mesh on Windows using Minikube tunnel. And let's see our carry dashboard. Here we can see, but as of now, we don't have the nice visualization or graph. So in the next video, we will be looking into the observation and metrics and tracing part of Istio Service Mesh. Thank you very much.